And we're finally live. Yet again, a Nevo with a much better start. Seems like Karluf is going way too safe there and gifts Nevo more than a 0.1 of a lead already. Has a pretty big job on his hands right now. Because the gap is only getting bigger and bigger. And Karluf again, same mistake almost. This time he crashed on the left, last time he crashed on the right. So it gives Nevo an easy round here. Don't think he's gonna have any issues because I'm sure he knows he's got a second and a half of an advantage here. Just doing a nice and safe drifts. Gets the lower gear there, but no problem. He knows he cannot possibly lose the round unless he crashes pretty big. And just like that, this is round 1 for 4Wheels. Karluf seems to be struggling hard in that one particular turn. Let's see if he can do it better this time. Well, one thing he can't do better is the start, because yet again Neo I guess is slightly better, and let's see if it's gonna snowball out of control for Karluf once again. Oh, not this time, he manages to catch up. Very close round this one. Now coming up to the clutch turn for Karluf, he goes a bit wider just to get it safe, and it works out perfectly for him, because he's still in the race. Loses just a bit of ground there to Nevo, but then with a sloppy landing loses a bit more. Still only 0.12 of a second, so he's not out of it yet. He is coming a bit closer, and it's all gonna be in this end. Good turn by both players. They're inside of each other right now. It's super close, so it should be decided in the very last turn to the right. Who's gonna get more exit speed? Looks like it will be Karluf, and he does snipe him in the end with 0.03 of a second. Amazing job by Karluf. He manages to come back. Oh, that was a super close round, especially in the latter part of it. And that ties up the score to a 1-1 right now. Round 3, and Nevo again in the lead at the start. But then Karluf comes back a bit in this section. We've seen this before, and again, they're inside of each other. It's super close. Karluf will lose a bit in that turn again, but comes back straight after. We see different techniques in that turn, and it's not that big of a difference in the end. Nevo's strat is slightly better maybe, but at the end of the day Karluf is still in the running for the point. Let's see if he can pull off another comeback in the very end. Nevo has a bigger advantage this time, so he can save it a bit more than last turn, and that should be enough. Wins the round with 105.88, which is slightly faster than what Karluf won in the previous round. But we can see that these two players are quite evenly matched, and they're constantly driving a very similar pace. So looks like we're gonna have a close 1v1 throughout the whole sub-match. In round 4, Karluf gets the start slightly better, and is right up there with Nevo, almost going into the lead even. No problem yet for either player. Karluf is doing this turn much better. Maybe he just needed a few more warm-ups there, because right now he's looking rock solid in that turn. And again, on that landing, Nevo just gets more speed, gets it smoother, and right after Karluf comes back. So super close round yet again. Let's go to Nevo's perspective. This time he is behind, Going into the last couple of turns, this is not something he's used to, so he will need to push quite a lot in the end. The point 18 is very hard to catch up, so he will have to rely on Karlouf making a mistake, which will not happen. Karlouf is just too experienced. The first ever world champion in Trackmania, and a very, very solid time. Fastest time of the match yet. Again, ties up the score to 2-2. So round 5, Neo again with his nice and tight start. Karlouf here goes very wide. This time he couldn't make it into the triangle, so he elected to go safe, and in the long run it definitely pays off. You'd rather go a bit wider than crash and give the round to your opponent. Trying to push it a bit more in this section. And again, they're neck and neck. It's so close. This time around, Nevo doesn't get more speed into the landing. So it looks like Karlouf is in the driving seat for this round. Nevo will have to make a comeback in the last couple of turns. But Karlouf is only extending his advantage. Right now, a 0.19 of a second. So he needs a miracle in this end. That wasn't a great turn either, so it looks like beGenius will go into the lead for the first time in this sub-match. And these times just keep getting faster and faster. Very, very impressive display from Karlouf. A bit of a slow start in the sub-match right now. He is fully in his flow and seems to be quite hard to stop. So next round, super close. This time Karlouf makes it through the triangle. Much better start. And we see completely different lines there. It looks like Nevo's line was slightly better, which is why he's in the lead by almost 0.1. But we've seen Karlouf come back, starting right from around this point, depending on this landing right here. And again, looks like Karlouf is doing that much better than a few rounds ago. So he is able to go into the final sections of the map while being in the lead. And as I say that, he makes a huge mistake, allowing Nevo to just save his way into the finish and probably tie up the score to 3-3. Of course, no problem there. He knows how far he is ahead, and wins with the worst time of the match yet, the worst winning time. But that's okay. He didn't need to do anything better than that. Still a very, very good pace. So round 7, here we go. There is no tennis mode, of course, so if this keeps on going like this, it's gonna be 7-6 for one of these guys. Yet again, Karlouf has to go on the left, the normal way through the checkpoint. Looks like he's not exactly feeling it in the start, because he's always behind there. Then he starts catching up. This time goes a bit wider there, but manages to keep the grip as Nevo gets a bit of a slowdown and allows Karlouf to come back so much. Almost overtaking Nevo and going up in the lead, but not yet. It's gonna be decided in the latter part of the round. Nevo is still in the lead. Karlouf will need to pull off an amazing ending if he wants to take this point, because Nevo's line is slightly better here. So it's all gonna be again in that last right-hander. They're dead even right now. Who's gonna take it? Nevo has more speed. Who's gonna have the better line? It will be Karlouf. His line just was a bit tighter than Nevo's, so he was able to finish a bit more on the right. And that means beGenius take the lead yet again with a 4-3. Next round, here we go. Karlouf, nice start, and as I say that, Caster's curse strikes. So he finds himself in the wall, and Nevo has an easy round yet again. So far we haven't seen mistakes from Nevo. He's lost rounds on pure pace. On the other hand, we've seen Karluf being just slightly faster, but he's been crashing a bit more. And just giving Nevo some of these easier rounds when all he has to do is safely get to the finish. So of course no problem anywhere for Nevo. It's not that difficult of a map when you have to save, when you know your opponent is 1.7 seconds behind. So Nevo didn't really have many opportunities to crash even. And just like that, we're tied up yet again. We still haven't seen any player get a lead that's bigger than 1 point. Will they keep this up all the way to 7-6? This is a super close out match, and it's really showing us what this match might look like overall. So into the next round, Nevo takes an early lead. Karluf is still, of course, within range. Is still doing fine, only 500s behind. Even coming a bit closer now. Again, neck and neck, both of them. Nevo going again a bit wider. Wants to get more speed off of this, but that's a terrible line and he will crash. Which means Karluf is the one getting a free round this time. Knows he only has to save it. And right after I praised Nevo, he made a mistake. Really wants so much speed on that great platform block or whatever that is. This time around it didn't really work out. And Karluf just safely takes it into the finish, winning with another sub 106. And that's 5-4 for beGenius. Can Karluf take another round and pile a lot of pressure on Nevo? Because he will be up to sub match point if he wins this one. Nevo rock solid start, very tight. Already leaving Karluf almost 0.1 behind. Let's see if he will be able to come back this time. Right now he's only falling further and further behind. So he tries to go a bit wider to gather more speed. It's not working out that great yet. Maybe in this turn, but it's really not looking like he's catching up anything. It's the opposite actually, and Nevo has built up quite a nice lead. Can almost start to save it at this point, just needs to survive the right-hander, left-hander, and then last turn can definitely take it easy. Karluf is way too far behind to make anything happen. So Nevo will be able to tie the score up yet again. 5-5, and this cannot possibly be any closer. So let's stick with Karluf. In the past couple of rounds, he's been the one taking the lead, and Nevo has been the one making the comebacks every time and equaling the score. Yet again, I just wonder if we're gonna see Karluf ever taking the lead in the start. But the rest of his run is just good enough, so maybe he doesn't even have to. As he is over 0.1 behind, Nevo goes super close on the right, but manages to survive, and it will pay off. Because he does create a slightly bigger gap. It's over 0.2 right now, so Karluf really needs to push it at this point already if he wants to take this round. Right now, 0.2 of a difference. Nevo is still holding this round firm. He's not gonna let it go. It's over 0.2 still. Karluf needs a miracle in the end. He has to go all out. Because Nevo is still almost 0.2 ahead. Unless he crashes, this should be around for Nevo. Oh, that was super close. And Karluf manages to go a lot tighter because Nevo almost crashed on the left. But his gap was just too big. And That means Nevo is the one getting the sub-match point. Or rather, the chance to get the sub-match point. Can he close this out with a 7-5? This is the first time since 2-1, I believe, that he's been in the lead. However, Karluf gets one of his stronger starts, which is usually a good indication that he will win the round. Still far away from that, of course, as it's neck and neck in this one. Both of them a bit wider there, don't want to risk it too much, because this is definitely good enough to not fall behind the opponent. Again, Nevo gets that part slightly better, gets a little lead, nothing major yet. Karluf is trying to attack, but Nevo with a much tighter line will create a gap of about 400s. And he's in a great position going up into the end. Karluf needs to risk it at this point. It's still possible because he is catching up. He has got more exit speed. Who's gonna get the title line? It will be Karluf. What a round, and he manages to stay alive in the sub-match. It's 6-6. Amazing job by Carl there. Just gets the better line in the end and finishes almost touching the right part of the finish. Great job by Karluf, but now he needs to do it one more time, one last time. He goes for the speed there, will catch up to Nevo. Nevo still not giving away his lead. It's less than 0.1 of a difference. Karluf super wide, knows he's not gonna crash doing it like that, and knows he will have decent amount of exit speed. Let's see if Nevo can create a gap in this section. Looks like he did so. It should be 0.2 almost, but then he goes super wide, barely saves it, both on the right and the left. So Karluf comes back. It's less than 500s right now. This is super close. It's gonna go down to the wire. Who's gonna get that all-important sub-match point? 500s now. And Nevo crashes. Karluf crashes as well. Where is Nevo? He's got slightly more speed. Who's gonna take it? Oh, but Nevo with another mistake, and he had it actually. What a finish that was. Unbelievable. We saw 3 crashes right at the death of the round. First it looked like it was Karluf, then he crashed, but then Nevo crashed for the second time, and Karluf in the end takes it for beGenius. We will start 2v2 right now. So let's go with Energize, let's go with the beGenius POV here. Who's gonna take the first round? All of them make it through the triangle. Energizer right now in the lead with Poker challenging him. Silver is having some issues at the back as he crashes, which puts a lot of pressure on Energize straight away. He knows he has to win the round right now, otherwise it's gonna go to 4Wheels. And the worst part for him is he can only force the draw. He can't even win the round for his team anymore. He's doing a great job, still putting a lot of pressure on Grit and Poker. Knows he absolutely has to win it. Let's go to Grit. As I do, he goes into first, then back into third. Very close. Energize is struggling a lot. Had to scramble there. He's coming back again, but that was a bit too much. And the first round will go to 4Wheels. Decent attempt there by Energize. He knew he had to get it, otherwise would have been around for 4Wheels anyway. Definitely can't blame himself for the mistake. He just didn't have an option. So 1-0 4Wheels, but this is exactly how the 1v1 started. Let's see if it's gonna be like that, or if 4Wheels can keep up this kind of performance. Following Silver in round 2. Needs to step it up, otherwise he's gonna put too much pressure on Energize again. There's no slacking allowed in the 2v2. Both members of the duo need to be on it straight away. And right now it's Grid versus Energize and Poker versus Silver, looks like. But now Energize is creating a gap. So Silver needs to go up third at least. Barely avoids disaster there. And is still in the room, but there he crashes. And again, same story, but this time Energize is far away in the lead, so he might be able to get the draw, which means that Poker should try at least to push. But he doesn't get enough speed there, and would allow Energize to save his way into the finish and get the draw at least. That is a very solid time. 0.77, and if I'm not mistaken, that is the fastest time we've seen yet. Great job by Energize. This time around, he was already far in the lead and was able to close it out to at least not go another point down. So round 3 here, Poker with a bit of a slower start had to go on the left of the checkpoint in order to survive. Still in 4th, needs to come back, as right now the round is for beGenius, with Energize carrying hard, but Silver with another mistake. That is definitely not what I wanted to do. And looks like he is 2.5 seconds behind, with Energize again getting the task of winning the round. So this is pretty much a 1v1. Poker knows he will stay in 3rd, so if Grid gets first, will be around for 4Wheels, but if Energize gets first, it will be another draw. Looks like Poker is coming back anyway, but Energize is 0.2 ahead, has a massive lead, and only a mistake will allow 4Wheels to get the second point on board, and he does survive yet again, and it's another draw. I think Energize's back might be hurting a bit at this point. Silver needs to get off and drive his own race. Otherwise, this is only gonna go one way. I don't think Energize can win every single round from this point on. He gets a slower start yet again. And he needs to make a comeback, or at least he needs to hope that one of the 4Wheels guys will crash. It's not looking likely, as they both look very, very solid. Silver's same mistake, and we're in the same situation as in every round before. Again, a 2v1. Can Energize pull it off for the 3rd round in a row? And as I say that, I mean, you can't really blame him. So unless both of these guys have a stroke till the end of the round, this will be 2-0 for 4Wheels. They're looking very, very solid on this. They're just not making any mistakes. Looks like they've noticed that Silver is crashing a lot, so they're just trying to be solid, not take any particular risks. And they're waiting for Silver to make a mistake, put a lot of pressure on Energize, and then either Energize crashes and they get a point, or worst case scenario, they get a draw and another chance next round. So that's actually not bad of a strategy when you see one of your opponents constantly making mistakes round after round. So let's switch to Silver. Let's see if he can finally survive one of the rounds and help out his teammate. Because this is going one way only. Is still at the back, Energize at the front. And both Poker and Grid trying to overtake for their first place. Not managing to do so yet, but Silver is falling further and further behind. Right now around about 0.2 behind, which might prove to be too far. So let's switch to the 4Wheels guys. One of them needs to overtake Energize. Who is going to try and risk it? Oh, Grid had to release there, which means Energize will most likely win the round yet again. And that is another draw. pretty good time by Energize yet again. However, it doesn't mean anything. They still have 0 on their scoreboard. Maybe this is the round. Maybe round 6 is the one where Silver finally backs him up. And they finally get a point on board. As this is the first time that a 4Wheels player is a bit further behind in the start. Grit has to make a comeback this time because both Energize and Silver are in the lead. Poker following very closely, but Grit is 0.25 almost behind. Will be a real challenge for him to come back. Still not looking that much better, so it might be up to Poker here. Might be up to Poker to get the round win and at least save the draw. Grit's still 0.24 behind. Silver is dropping back a bit. Maybe Grit can attack him. And finally a round for beGenius, with Energize having a firm grip on the submatch, seems like. He seems to be the fastest player here. So once Silver survived, they were able to at least get 1 point. So maybe this is the start of a little comeback here. They've survived with a few draws, and maybe this is the start of a winning streak. So let's see if 4Wheels can get back to the winning ways right now. As all 4 players get a solid start. As the round goes on, Grit is slowly falling further and further behind right now, 0.11. So he will need to catch up, otherwise he is relying on Poker again to win the round. And we've seen how strong Energize is anytime he doesn't crash. This is still neck and neck. beGenius may be a bit in front right now, but Grit overtakes Silver, so it's looking like a draw at this point. Silver is coming back. Energize is in first. Oh, this could be anyone's round still. Looks like Energize will win it with Silver in last with... Hold on. He gets the 2 points. This should be for beGenius. And it is for beGenius with a tie. He ends a 4th on the scoreboard but gets the +2. And it is 2-all overall. What an amazing last turn there by Silver, and with a tie he gets the benefit of the doubt by the game. And they tie up the score. This is going the same way as the 1v1 was. Super close, and as I say that, Silver makes a mistake. And back to the drawing board for beGenius. As it's all up to Energize yet again. He is in first, though will have more speed over this. But gets a much worse line, so it allows both of the 4Wheels guys to go up in the lead. Energize needs a comeback as he goes a bit wider. It's still anyone's round out of these 3 guys. Who's gonna risk it the most in the end? Super close, but Energize pushes it maybe a bit too hard. Because it's still impossible to go through walls. And this will be around for 4Wheels after a long time of not winning any. So they're 3-2 up. Moving just a little closer to that magic number 5. Which will allow them to get 1 sub-match point. They are 1-0 down, of course. Into the next round we go. So, again, all eyes on Silver pretty much. Because whenever he avoids disaster, it's pretty big for beGenius, but when he crashes, it's almost always around for 4Wheels, so... This time he doesn't crash, but he's much slower compared to the other guys. And he got a lot of airtime there as well. Let's move up to the top 3. Energize is falling behind as well. Could this be the 4th point for 4Wheels? Looking very good right now. Energize needs to attack. He has nothing to lose at this point. He needs to pass both of them if he wants to get the draw. Oh, he's doing it. Goes from 3rd to 1st in one turn. Oh, he tried to push it too much. But nice try. Fair play to him. He was in 1st, wanted to go super tight left, so he goes super tight on the right. But just tried a bit too much. So we are on to sub-match point for 4Wheels. This is 4-2, just one more round needed. Let's see if they can close it out straight away. To Silver again with a slower start, but that's a double crash. Who's gonna get more speed there? Even Silver crashes, only Poker survives the round, and all of a sudden Energizes in 2nd after crashing. Silver is dead last, so this should be around for 4Wheels. This should be over and out. Unless Silver gets 3rd somehow, but that's extremely unlikely, and I doubt Poker will crash at this point. His lead is just too big. He has a 2nd of a lead. So Energize in 2nd doesn't mean anything. This should be it for 4Wheels. Where's Grit? He also just has to save it. There's no way Silver catches up on pure pace to him. Poker survives. Grit survives. And this will be 1-1 overall. Well played by the 4Wheels guys. In 3 seconds we will be starting with our first 3v3. After a thrilling first map, both of 1v1 and 2v2 were extremely close. And we can only expect the same to continue here. Following a chiller side. Nobody crashing in the pole. Because we know that is possible. Oh, Shay just straight into the red box there. That's already a big dent into beGenius' chances here. Which means that Toto and Ender need 1st and 3rd. Toto doing a great job right now. So Ender needs to overtake 2 players here. We see a sea of blue right in front of him. As Nevo is contesting Toto for their 1st place. Ender is already over 0.4 behind. And he needs to overtake 2 of... Oh, Chiller side with a big crash. Might even drop down to last. Looks like Shay is still even further behind, so going back to Ender. That's 1 down. He needs to overtake 1 more, but it will not happen. Toto wins the round. But it's just not enough, because Shay was way too far behind to take advantage of a Chiller side making a mistake. And that is an 11-10 in the first round, which means 4Wheels will take the lead with a 1-0. Unfortunately, this is in the way, these live rankings, but we'll just have to live with it. So, going into round 2, can Shay avoid disaster this time? Yes, he does. It's a bit too much grass there, will slow him down quite a lot and drops from 1st all the way to almost last. But Toto again with a very strong start. And there is in the mix as well. No mistakes yet. It's still super close. Only Nevo is slightly behind, but then he comes back with a very strong turn there on the gray part and goes up all the way to 3rd place. It's looking very promising for beGenius right now with having 2 players right up there fighting for the lead, but Poker trying to push it is really attacking. We see some different lines here coming up. Toto and Ender still looking very strong. Only Chiller side is far behind. This is still anyone's round. It will probably go to beGenius, yes, with 1, 3, and 5. Super close round between the top 5. Very little to separate them, and this is 1-1. Again, the players seem to have a very similar pace. All 6 of them. Shay has made 1 mistake. Chiller's side has been the person making 2 mistakes. So if he can fix up, I'm sure he's able to do those times as well, as he is in the lead at this point. And is trying to push it for 4Wheels right now. All three of them are very close to the top. And as I say, that we see a crash, I think, from Toto there. Yep, Toto is far behind, which means both Anner and Shay need to push it quite hard right now. They need first and third. Shay is in first, and that's a complete death right there. He just got deleted from the round by the wall. And that allows the 4Wheels guys to safely drive into the finish. Doesn't matter which positions they get, as long as it's in the top 4, which they will. And that is a 2-1 for 4Wheels. Shay with his second mistake seems to be quite fast. He definitely knows what he's doing, but also seems to take more risks than some other people, which means he's crashing more often. Again, very close to the walls, but manages to survive. And it kind of pays off. Is still in the mix as Anner drops down a bit. Still not bad, but as I was switching to him, Toto has made quite a big mistake, and that already means Anner has to at least get third here. Shay is doing fine, but so are all three of the 4Wheels players. Chiller side right now dropping us in speed just a bit, which allows Anner to come a little closer. Could Anner maybe get Poker here? He needs to overtake Poker if he wants to win the round here. It's super close. Even Neo is falling a bit behind. He just needs one of them, and it will be a round for beGenius, as he snipes Poker in the end with 0.006 of a second. Shay with a massive round there, 0.4 even, wins it for his team, and looks like he is gonna be one of those either first or last players. But that doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing, because winning the round is huge, of course. That means one of your teammates only needs to get third, and then the third guy, well, he can even get last. Right now it's Chiller's side again. At the back, has made an early mistake, putting a bit more pressure onto his duo of teammates, as Poker is trying to contest Toto for the lead. Still super close between the top 4. We've seen a mistake from Shay again. Either first or last for him. Anner so close to the wall but crashes. So if Neo and Poker can just keep it together, this will be another round for 4Wheels. Toto is completely irrelevant here, and they will be 3-2 4Wheels. With Shay from hero to zero. Maybe to hero again, let's see. Yet another sub-match going 1 by 1. Can 4Wheels maybe get a 2-point lead? Or am I asking for too much? Shay with a solid start. He is looking pretty good. Where is Anner? But we see a mistake from Poker. Poker is quite far behind right now. Probably will end up in last. It means Nevo and Chiller's side will have to get first and third. Shay is right now holding that first place quite firmly, and Toto with so much speed overtakes everyone, goes up into the lead even. That was absolutely amazing, but then not the greatest turn allows Nevo to come back. Nevo really pushing it. Chiller side wants the third place. Nevo wants the first place. Who will it be? Looks like Toto and Shay will have it. And yes, only first and fourth for 4Wheels, which allows beGenius to tie up the score once more. So let's follow Poker for this one. Made a mistake in the previous round. which is not something he's known for. He's been rock solid up until that point. Driving very well. Not the fastest player out of the bunch, but just hasn't made that many mistakes. This time around, nobody crashes at the very start. Still a super close round at this point. Everyone is within 0.1 of a second. Nevo is in first, but Poker in last is so close to him. It can all change in just one turn. Right now, beGenius looking a bit better than 4Wheels. They've got more guys up front, with Chiller side dropping a bit behind. They will need quite a big ending, because this could even be an ace after such a close round. It's only Poker really contesting. We see a mistake there from Nevo, but don't think it would have changed anything. Or maybe it would have, because Poker actually won the round. Either way, this is a round for beGenius. And they're moving just a little bit closer to an all-important sub-match win. So Nevo there with a mistake right at the death of the round. Actually made a difference there. Right now though, he is far in front. Where is Enner? He's made a big mistake, but I think Chiller's side is even further behind. So this round is a bit more stretched. Players aren't as closely packed as before, and it's still looking very good for beGenius, who might be winning their 5th point. And just as I say that, Toto makes a mistake, so they flips the whole round upside down. Nevo and Poker are in the top 3, so 4Wheels will tie up the score yet again, and it is 4-4 after that mistake by Toto. Maybe the match is just cursed. I don't know what it is, but this is just insanely close, and whenever someone gets a chance to create some daylight between themselves and the other team, it just goes completely wrong straight away. So into the next round, it is Shay in first, who eats a bit too much grass, allows others to catch up a bit to him. So Toto goes in the lead. Where is Enner? Enner has made a big mistake, so he leaves it all up to his 2 teammates. Chiller side and Poker are both at 0.1 behind, but then we see mistakes from Shay, I believe it was, and a smaller mistake from Poker. So right now Shay and Enner are far behind. It should be around for 4Wheels. They know they only have to save it, which means that they will be able to go up into the lead yet again with a 5-4, and they will do so with Toto even making a mistake in the end. Of course, it makes no difference at all, because his 2 teammates were dead last. So round 10 right now, 5-4 for 4Wheels, following Shay. Usually gets a very good start, or at least isn't at the back. And this time around he gets it very well yet again. It's super close, only in Nevo a bit further behind. He can still catch up this much. 0.3 isn't that much, and as I say, that Toto makes a mistake and does allow Nevo to catch up. So beGenius need first and third, which is exactly what I have right now. It's all up to Chiller side and Poker here to push. Chiller side makes a mistake. Where is Toto? Toto will not be able to catch up, but Poker is in first with Shay and Enner in the second and third. Shay isn't able to overtake, and I think that's Chiller side in 5th, which means 4Wheels get another round win, just barely, and this is a 6-4 sub-match point. We see a 2-point gap, and let's actually follow Toto. He's made quite a few mistakes. He's also shown that he definitely has the pace, but he just needs to survive the round. And as I say that, Shay is super far behind. Toto makes a mistake, and this could be the end. There is no way either of those are catching up without 4Wheels touching the wall. So could this be it? After a super close sub match up until 5-4, 4Wheels have just ran away with it. It's not that they were faster, they were just more solid, they made less mistakes, and they were just lying in wait for their opponents to crash, and it pays off in the end. 7-4 for 4Wheels. Oh, very well done by them. With Poker and Neo ending up at the top of the individual scoreboard. Any which way, here we go with the last 3v3, last sub-match of the day. 4Wheels up 3-1. beGenius need a win to even things up. And 4Wheels can go up to 5-1 if they win this one. So let's watch Darbringer. He's a bit further behind with what am I missing? Always saw a mistake there from Asse. Not sure who the third guy is for beGenius, but switching to Asse, who is in 5th. But now only Energize and Shocker still doing a good job in 1st and 3rd. But Shea must have wiped out of the map completely, as Shocker and Energize makes a mistake at the death, and the round will go to 4Wheels, with them being 2nd to 4th. Only 2 beGenius guys finishing. So yeah, it was Shay. Sorry, but I was a bit confused because he made a mistake so early, and I guess he would wiped out of the map. Of course, we know respawn is disabled, and that was pretty much a gift for 4Wheels, because beGenius needed 1 and 2 in order to win the round. 1 and 3 would have been enough to get the draw only. So in round 2, Energize is far away in the lead already, over 0.1, with Shay and Shocker still within the mix, trying to back up his teammate. And right now it's looking good for him, but as I say, the Shocker drops down, but it's super close. It's switching around in every section. Karin, Darbringer and Asse all very close. Oh, and Shocker gets deleted. Their Energize makes a mistake, and this could be another round where 4Wheels all end up one after the other. This time it's 1, 2, 3. And as I said, they're just so consistent. They're only waiting for mistakes from beGenius, who apparently need to maybe even push it above their limit, which is why they're crashing. So this is 2-0 for 4Wheels. And right off the bat, Shocker with a mistake. That's a shocking one right there. And the 4Wheels trio is in 1st right now. Energize is trying to contest. Shay has made a mistake of his own as well. So again, another round where all 4Wheels have to do is just not crash. They are aware of the situation. They know what they need to do. All 3 of them are at the top, so let's watch from Energize's perspective. Can he maybe put some pressure on them, try to trick them into thinking they need to risk, try to push them into a very unlikely mistake in the end? But of course, it's very unlikely, and again, 3 of them in the top 4. 3-0 4Wheels. And if this is an omen of how this sub-match is gonna go, it's looking very grim for beGenius. Round 4, and we're gonna stick with Energize. Let's see if maybe Energize can push his team to victory. Same way he tried to on 2v2, and there's Darkbringer with a huge mistake. First mistake from a 4Wheels player, so this does open the door for maybe a beGenius point. Asse is in first. We saw Darkbringer there way far behind. So his teammates need first and third right now, but Energize is holding strong there in first. Shay is backing him up very nicely. Asse and Karyan can't really do much. Shocker is in fifth, so he likely won't be a factor in this round. Just needs to save the fifth place, but Karyan with so much speed overtakes everyone. Can Asse maybe get third here if Karyan gets first? Shay trying to attack. This is going mad in the end, and it should be around 4-4 yet again because of that mistake by Shay. He can't even finish. Oh, that is not what I want to see. It looked like a beGenius round all the way up until the last corner, but Shay just flipped on his back there, allowing 4Wheels to take an unlikely win. And they're 4-0 up right now. beGenius needing a mad comeback. Shay hasn't finished 2 rounds already, which is half. Maybe he needs to rethink his first or last approach. As we saw Asse dropping down a bit, it's still fine. He's not that far behind. Only 0.2, he can still come back as Karyan makes a mistake. Maybe this is the round for beGenius. Asse is a bit behind, Darkbringer in fourth. But Energize is dropping down. Shocker and Shaynimi on the other hand, very strong top 2 here. Can they maybe hold up out until the end? Shade with lower speed there. Asse is going up in the lead. Shay and Energize in second, third, and Shocker backs them up in fourth. So finally a point on board for beGenius there. Good showing by them. They allowed Asse to take the round win because they knew they had second till fourth anyway. So some smart playing there. And maybe, just maybe, they could make a comeback here. Some mistakes from 4Wheels players allowed them to just have a bit of a chance in this sub-match. As Shay yet again is in first. Darkbringer in last with a 0.3 of a gap to come back. He's falling further and further behind. I think at this point he will need a mistake from someone to overtake him. Shay is in first. It's looking very good right now for beGenius again. Unless Asse and Karyan can pull off a miracle here. But as I say, that Energize has dropped down only to fifth though, so it's still fine. Shay is in first. Super wide line there. Wants to be safe. He will get it. Shocker is in third. And that's another round for beGenius. We might be witnessing a mad comeback here as Shay gets a 0.82. Again, dropping it when it's needed. Maybe 4Wheels are just a bit rattled right now. After winning the first 4, they've lost 2 in a row. Maybe it's playing on their minds a bit. Because they know if they win this, that's a 5-1 win, and that's pretty big. Oh, Karyan there dies, and I think Asse just didn't even make the jump properly, so this is a free round for beGenius. Karyan is super far behind after he got stuck on the edge. And this is looking like the easiest point beGenius will ever get. Will all of them just survive the end? Shocker with a shocking end. It's still fine though, he manages to end up in fourth as Energize takes the round this time around. Darkbringer in second, but that doesn't change anything at all. And it's 4-3, so beGenius still on a very good way to complete the comeback, because the advantage that 4Wheels had is melting away like a snowman in July. It's really not looking good for him at this point. Guardian again with a sloppy turn there, and Shay and Energize looking very strong in this round as well. Where is Shocker? Shocker is still in the mix, as are all three of the 4Wheels players. Oh, but Shocker there touches the pole. And right now 4Wheels do have a chance, as Guardian has more speed than Energize. One of them needs to win the round. Looks like Guardian will be the one trying to contest both Shay and Energize, but he pushes it a bit too much. So Darbringer and Asa will survive. Darbringer with a shocking end there. It's just not going their way at all at this point. Shay and Energize with the top two. They didn't even need Shocker to finish, and it's 4-4. The comeback is half completed, because right now they need 3 more points to win. And just imagine, 4 rounds ago it looked super grim for them, and all of a sudden they might even look like favorites to win this, because Guardian in particular is making so many mistakes. Ace is in last, together with Energize, so they might be only fighting for 5th, unless one of the other guys make a mistake. However, Shocker and Shay are both in 1st and 2nd, now 1st and 3rd. This is still super close, but Shay just gets a weird slowdown. I think he might have clipped the edge there. So unless 4Wheels make a mistake, this should go their way. Oh, Guardian again with a mistake. Shocker is in 1st. Could this change anything? Shay Energize is in 4th, 1st, 4th, and 6th is not enough, unfortunately, for him, because Shay got last. So it's still a 5-4 for 4Wheels. Guardian almost cost the team a point, but luckily for him, Darbringer and SA were able to hold on to their places and got the 5th point on board, so maybe they're back on it right now. They just need 2 more. Oh, Shay just pushed it a bit over the edge there, and that's another last place for Shay. Definitely proving what he's been doing the whole match, just 1st or last, no in between. So that means Energize needs to win the round. Shocker is way too far behind. Shocker needs to get 3rd. Energize does have a chance. Definitely does have a chance. Will any of the 4Wheels guys make a mistake? They're dropping in speed a bit, but Energize drops even. Guardian yet again. This is the 4th round in a row. However, Darbringer will win the round with Asa in 3rd. And Guardian gets 5th. I can't see properly. And yeah, it is Shay in 6th. So it will be a round for 4Wheels anyway, and they're up to sub-match point, and if they win it, it will be a 5-1 overall. So lots of pressure right now on beGenius. Maybe Shay in particular, because he has made the most mistakes, I'd say. But he's also the player who's most likely to win the round for beGenius. So he definitely needs to perform out of his mind, and he needs to win the round here for his team, otherwise it's all gonna be over. Asa is in 1st. Guardian, I don't know what's going on with this man, but he's just not on it anymore. Darkbringer is a bit behind as well, so beGenius just need to keep it together right now. Let's see, Shay has dropped down, but he needs to save it. 0.28, so Darkbringer will be brought back into this. Still super close. This could still go either way. If Asa wins the round, Asa going too wide. Oh, double mistake there by 4Wheels. What was that? Synchronized swimming almost. Both of them landing on the left sides of their cars. Absolute madness there in the end, but beGenius do survive. 6-5. And we could go into a tennis match situation if this keeps on going. Karian, what are you doing? It's all up to Asse and Darbringer. For what, the 5th, 6th round in a row? I can't even count anymore. Either way, all 3 of the beGenius players are still in it. 4Wheels have only 2 of them, with Karin very likely to get last. So let's go to Shay. Let's see if Shay can win the round here. Then it's definitely gonna go beGenius way. Darkbringer isn't that far behind, so he could still come back. But 1st, 4th and 5th is good enough for beGenius. Asse is trying to contest here, so this could be the fight we're looking for. Oh, but Asse with a huge mistake will allow Shay to win the round unless he flips over here. He will win it. And that is 6-6. Tennis mode is enabled. It's not over yet. From 4-0 down, from 6-4 down, beGenius are back yet again. But there's only one person I want to spectate at this point. Let's see if Karian can pull it together. I think 4Wheels can win this. But if it's all up to his 2 teammates, then it's gonna be a very tall order. But this time it's Shay who makes the mistake. And all of the 4Wheels guys are... Well, Shay needs to back it up because he just doesn't have the speed to make it over the gap. Shocker is not having a good one this time. Energize is the only one who can realistically challenge. Shocker, I think, needs at least 2 mistakes there. They need 1st and 3rd, or somehow for the 4Wheels to end up on their backs and not on their wheels. As Energize even makes some mistakes, so it could be an ace even. Darkbringer with a bit of a sloppy end. Can he still make it? Yes, he barely does. It's not an ace, but it's still good enough. So 7-6 for 4Wheels. The pressure is back on beGenius. So let's go with Shay, who we've seen have some issues with the jump. He didn't make it in the 1st round, I believe. And this time around he does. So where is Darkbringer? He is still within striking distance, so all is well still. They can still win the round. Right now it's looking more likely for beGenius. Super close. Asse is falling behind, even down to last. But we haven't seen any mistakes yet in this, and who's gonna be the first one? Who's gonna make the first mistake? Who is gonna gift the round to the opponents? Everyone survives still. We're in for a very interesting end. Will it be the beGenius trio? Looks like it will, because Darkbringer can't even make it into the faster finish. And we have another tie. (7-7). At least 2 more rounds needed to decide the winner. This is super close. This is maybe even closer than the 1v1. And we all know how that went. So in this round, I think Energize is just a bit behind, but it's still fine. They're also still super close. Cardin hasn't made a mistake for the 2nd round in a row. So it's looking more promising. However, he does find himself a bit behind as Shay just clips the edge. Will get a slowdown because of it. And now relies on his 2 teammates to get 1st and 3rd at least. Oh, but Shocker with a big mistake. And that turns everything around. Means 4Wheels will get a round win out of nowhere pretty much. Karian was super far behind. beGenius were doing so well. But that mistake means 4Wheels are up to sub-match point yet again. Can beGenius win 3 in a row? Or are we gonna be stuck here forever? Will any of those questions get answered? Probably not. But Shay goes up into the lead. Where are the 4Wheels guys? All of them still doing well. But I see Shocker on his back. Shocker is on his back. This is an amazing chance for 4Wheels. Shay and Energize need first and second if they want to win their own, but they're not gonna do that. They're not gonna do that. This might all be over right now. Surely they cannot throw this away. Surely all of these guys are too experienced to know that they can full save it all the way from here to the end. Bakarian with a mistake. What is happening, Shay? Who's gonna finish this round even? 6-5 over and out. GG 5-1 4Wheels. Congratulations to them. Doesn't even matter if the rest finish. 6-5 is enough. And what a thrilling final round that was.